The clock in Dr. Carter's office never seemed to lose a second. Every tick echoed through the room, filling the silence between us. He sat across from me with a notebook resting on his lap, waiting for me to speak. After several uncomfortable seconds, he finally broke the silence. "So, you said you've been having the same dream?" I nodded. "Every night." "How long has it been happening?" I rubbed my hands together before answering. "Almost 15 years. His expression changed. "And it always plays out the same way? Every detail?" He leaned forward. "Start from the beginning." I closed my eyes. "It starts at my old school. I'm 13 years old again. The autumn air is cold enough to sting my face. Dozens of students crowd the parking lot outside Ravenwood Preparatory School, laughing while teachers check names off attendance sheets. 3 white buses idle near the entrance. Everyone is excited about the field trip. Everyone except me. I don't know why, but from the moment I arrive, I feel like something is wrong. My best friend, Ryan, nudges my shoulder. "You look like you've seen a ghost." I force a smile. "Just didn't sleep much." He laughs. "You'll sleep on the bus." I wish I could believe him. Our history teacher, Mrs. Holloway, claps her hands. Everyone on board. Students rush toward the buses. Ryan and I grab seats near the middle. As the doors close, I glance out the window. For a split second, I see a man standing across the parking lot. He's wearing a long gray coat. He isn't watching the buses. He's watching me. Before I can point him out, the bus pulls away. The first hour feels normal. Kids play word games. Music leaks from someone's headphones. Teachers chat quietly near the front. Rain begins tapping against the windows. The city slowly disappears behind us. Roads become forests. Forests become mountains. Eventually, the bus turns onto a narrow road surrounded by enormous pine trees. No one speaks anymore. It's strange. The conversations don't fade naturally. They simply stop. Ryan notices it too. "Why is everybody so quiet?" I shrug. Even the teachers have fallen silent. Mrs. Holloway sits in the front seat, staring straight ahead. She hasn't moved in several minutes. The bus finally stops. Outside stands an old concrete facility surrounded by rusted fencing. It looks abandoned, yet every light inside is on. Above the entrance hangs a faded sign. I squint, trying to read it. Every single letter is blurred. No matter how hard I focus, I can't make out a single word. Dr. Carter interrupted. "Do you recognize the building in real life?" "No." "Have you ever searched for it?" "Hundreds of times. And I've never found anything that looks exactly like it." He made another note. "What happens after you arrive?" I took a slow breath. "That's when everything changes." The bus doors fold open. Cold air rushes inside. Every student steps off without saying a word. No one laughs anymore. No one even looks around. Waiting outside are 4 tour guides wearing matching gray uniforms. They're smiling, but something about their smiles feels practiced, empty. One by one, they greet each student. When they reach me, the tallest guide tilts his head. For a moment, his smile disappears. Then it returns. He says only one sentence. "You're late." I stare at him. "What?" He doesn't answer. Instead, he gestures toward the entrance. Ryan whispers, "Did he just say you're late?" I nod. "But I've never been here before." Ryan forces a nervous laugh. Maybe he's talking to someone else. I want to believe him, but before I can respond, the guide quietly says my name. Evan. My blood runs cold. I never told him who I was. Inside, the building smells like wet concrete and old metal. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead. The hallways stretch endlessly in every direction. There are no windows. No decorations. No signs. Just gray walls. Gray floors. Gray doors. Our footsteps echo through the corridors. One of the younger students begins crying. A teacher immediately tells him to be quiet. Not kindly, coldly, almost mechanically. Ryan leans toward me. Something isn't right. Before I can answer, a loud metallic clang echoes somewhere below us. The entire hallway vibrates. Every guide stops walking. Every teacher turns toward the sound. And for the first time, they all smile exactly the same way. White, perfect, unmoving. I wake up before they open the next door. Every single night. When I open my eyes, Dr. Carter wasn't writing anymore. He was staring directly at me. Evan, he said quietly, dreams don't usually repeat themselves this perfectly. I tried to laugh. It's just my imagination. He didn't smile.
No.
He closed his notebook. I don't think it is. Dr. Carter glanced at the clock on the wall. Our session is almost over. I stood, thanked him, and walked out. But his final words stayed with me the entire drive home. Sometimes a nightmare isn't trying to scare you. It's trying to remind you. The sentence echoed in my head. Instead of driving to my apartment, I turned onto the old highway leading toward my mother's house. I needed answers. She looked genuinely surprised when she opened the door. Evan, everything okay? I didn't even take off my jacket. Mom, why did we leave Ravenwood? Her smile disappeared. What? When I was 13. She stared at me for several seconds. You've never asked about that. I need to know. She slowly walked into the kitchen without saying a word. I followed. She poured herself a glass of water. Her hands were shaking. What brought this on? I've been dreaming about the field trip again. The glass slipped from her fingers. It shattered across the floor. She didn't even look down. You still have that dream? Every night. Her face turned pale. For a moment, I thought she might faint. Without saying another word, she disappeared upstairs. A minute later, she returned carrying a dusty cardboard box sealed with faded packing tape. She placed it on the table. I promised I'd never show you these. She carefully opened the box. Inside were old photographs, school papers, a green Ravenwood sweater, then a folded newspaper. She hesitated before handing it to me. The headline read, "Local school closed after missing student investigation." My stomach tightened. There were disappearances? She nodded. Over 3 years. I scanned the article. 9 students had vanished.
No bodies. No suspects.
The investigation went nowhere. Ravenwood Preparatory School permanently closed less than a month later. I looked up. I don't remember any of this. You weren't supposed to. What does that mean? Tears filled her eyes. After the school shut down, every family wanted to forget. She opened the box again. At the very bottom lay an old class photograph. My 7th grade class. I recognized almost every face. Ryan, my teachers, me. Then I noticed something strange. There were empty spaces between several students, as if people had been cut out of the picture. Who was standing there? I whispered. My mother looked away. I don't remember. Her answer came too quickly. She was lying. That night I couldn't sleep. The photograph sat on my nightstand. Something about it felt wrong. Around 2 in the morning, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. There was no message. Only a single photograph. It showed the entrance to the same concrete building from my dreams. The image was recent. The lights were on. Across the bottom, someone had typed 4 words. You finally remembered US. Before I could react, another message arrived. This one contained only an address. I opened the map. The location was less than 30 minutes from my apartment. I stared at the screen. There was no name attached to the place, just a forest and a single abandoned road. Then my phone rang. Unknown caller. My hand trembled as I answered. For several seconds, only silence. Then a familiar voice whispered, "Evan." I froze. Couldn't be. I hadn't heard that voice in 15 years. "Ryan." Static crackled through the speaker. Then one final sentence. "They never left." The line went dead.